Hey everybody, so before I go outside to hang out in the sunshine for the day, while the kids are eating breakfast and the baby's sleeping, I want to talk real quick about quantum entanglement. Alright, so quantum entanglement basically means that on a quantum level, everything is connected energetically. Okay? So what really caught my attention about this was my personal mission statement is to transform the world one person at a time.
I want my oatmeal.
And she's done eating her oatmeal. Okay, baby.
Well, didn't eat any oatmeal.
My personal mission is to change the world or transform the world one person at a time, starting with myself. Now, in this video that I watched, he mentioned that we don't have to make change one at a time, because we can do it when we do it on a quantum level. We can essentially do it on a larger scale. Okay, so there is a field of information that surrounds all of us. It's like Wi-Fi, right? You can't touch it or see it. It's information, but it's all around us and it's there. Okay, so basically we have beliefs or expectations about the world, whether they're conscious or unconscious, right? Most of them are unconscious because they're conditioned into us from the time we're born. We're fed a narrative on how the world works, and we're taught that things like poverty and scarcity and lack and sickness and, all these things. She just finished her oatmeal and she's hungry. I'm going to kick her butt. We're taught that these things exist, and so we give it our power. We believe it to be so, and so it is. We give it our power, okay? We give our power to this idea that they've taught us, okay? So the world is always telling us what to believe, and it's like a mirror, and so what we believe to be true is, right? Our beliefs create our reality, okay? So like I said, what we believe, the field mirrors back to us, right? And a belief is simply a thought that you continue to think over and over and over and over, okay? So it's what we believe to be true. The field is a container for all things, right? We're all in this field. So we have our own individual field, then we have our family field, and then you have like your city or your community or whatever, and then you have like collective field, the collective unconscious, right? And then you have the superconscious field, which is the container for all things, okay? It's the bridge between our inner and outer worlds, all right? And our inner world creates our outer world, as within, so without. We're quantum beings, okay? That means that the micro creates the macro. The small internal creates the larger outer. Our insides manifest in the outer world. What you believe to be true internally will manifest externally, right? So, what we believe to be true. Beliefs create reality, right? We got that established. So, and this is no longer a question. It's proven. Science has proven this to be absolutely true, okay? There was an experiment done. This is the really interesting part. July 25th, 1997. It's called the Twin Photon Experiment, okay? And in this experiment, what they did was, basically, let me tell you what a photon is. First, we have atoms, and in the center of atoms are subatomic particles, and in the center of subatomic particles are energy. Everything is made of energy, frequency, vibration, light, and information. So a photon is simply that. It's a particle of light. We are light, guys. Everything is made of light and energy. So photons are what atoms are made of, light particles, okay? E equals mc squared. Everything is energy, frequency, and vibration. Light, which carries information, okay? Light carries information. Example, the light and the energy go through a cable cord and boom, come out on your TV. Why is that? It's because the cable is carrying the light and the information, and then it expands on your TV and it's holographic, sort of like this universe is holographic. All the light and information comes, and Earth, if you can imagine, is like a big TV screen, okay? And then boom, everything's here. So in this twin photon experiment. They had a single photon isolated, and then they split it in two, okay? And so they were identical. They split this photon into two, and they were identical. Then they placed it in a device, a very, very, very high-tech device, which allowed them to shoot the particles through fiber optic cables, like I was just saying, through cables, right? 7 miles, well, 14 miles apart. 7 miles this way and 7 miles that way. So they were 14 miles apart. And what they found is when they did something to one on this end, the one 14 miles away would have the same reaction, okay? It would have the same exact experience. And so why is that? They thought, well, maybe it's sending the information, but for that to be true, it would have to travel faster than the speed of light. And according to physics, nothing travels faster than the speed of light. So this is where entanglement comes in. This means that once matter is joined, physically, it remains linked energetically. So, you know, we get entangled with people that we meet. Once you meet somebody, once you're connected with somebody, you are forever connected energetically, all right? But it also implies that once matter is connected, it stays connected, okay? So let's go back like to the Big Bang Theory, right? The instant that it happened, if you can imagine, what science suggests is that if you compress all matter and remove all the empty space, because really matter is 99.99999% empty space, right? It's like a fan, the blade of a fan, when it's still, or this pen here, it looks, you know, like one solid thing, but when it moves, or it's, you know, one thing like this, but if it moves really, really fast, it looks like one solid object, right? And the laws of hermetics say that nothing is still. Everything moves, everything vibrates. I believe that's hermetics. So if we remove all the empty space from every single thing on this earth, it would be compressed into the size of one small green
It's lunchtime. Make sure to drink water.
Thanks. Cheers. All right. So let's take it all back before this expansion began. So essentially there was this compressed energy, tiny, tiny energy, millions of degrees, just super, super, super hot. And all of a sudden, boom, starts to expand, right? And it expands and it expands and expands. And that's what the universe is. It's just constantly expanding everything. And that's its goal, to just keep expanding. All right. The single point in which it began is called singularity. Okay. Everything was once connected and it's now expanding, but still connected energetically. Everything is connected energetically. If it all began from one point, it all comes from the same source. It's all connected. Okay. It's just now expanding and expanding and expanding. But if you came back and you reversed it and brought it back to that singularity, you would see that everything is in fact connected. So this is what the experiment, the twin photon experiment, suggests, is that we can make changes quickly and easily. Oh, no, wait, hold on. Oh yeah, we can make changes quickly and easily if we understand this concept, right? We don't have to do like one person at a time. On a quantum level, if you make a change, it changes every piece of the hologram. It mirrors the whole, okay? So it's holographic. Let me explain that a little bit further. In the 80s, there were these bookmarks. If you were an 80s baby or a 70s, 60s, and you remember these bookmarks, they had holographic images on them. And when placed in light, they appeared as if they hovered above your hand, okay? So, and let me say that in a hologram, each fragment is a mirror of that fragment. So it mirrors the whole. The bookmarks in the 80s, right? If you cut them up into the tiniest little pieces and put the tiniest little piece under a microscope and then cut that with a razor, okay? That tiny little piece, you're going to see the whole picture again and again and again and again. We live in a holographic universe where everything is just mirrored over and over and over and over. So the universe as a whole, let's take that for an example, and you cut that in half, and then you cut it in half again and again and again and again. The change would be mirrored, right? You make a change on the level that the hologram recognizes, it would be mirrored throughout the universe. So essentially you wouldn't have to, a small change could have a massive impact, okay? You wouldn't have to go to every place in the universe to make that change. So let's go back to the twin photon experiment, which is they took a photon of light, they split it in half 14 miles apart. They influenced one on this end, and the one 14 miles away had the same reaction instantly. Okay? They thought, scientists typically would have thought, right, the information is traveling, but no, it would have to travel faster than the speed of light. And according to physics, again, nothing travels faster than the speed of light. And so what it suggests is that they were in fact connected. It is entangled, okay? It's connected energetically. They're still one and the same, right? So because typically science would ask, how much time did it take for the information to get from point 1 to point 2? But it didn't. It didn't have to travel. Here is there. Everything already is. It's like the saying, you have to be it to see it. You already are anything that you can imagine, because what we imagine, we create, right? And what you think in here, you can hold it. What you think in your mind, you can hold in your hand. We are creators. So this is the powerful principle. And if we can embrace it, that our lives on an energetic level, this is what allows us as individuals to create massive change, tremendous change in our bodies and in our lives and in the world. Okay. So the old way to create change, we have to make it happen one person at a time. But we know that we don't have to make hold on. We now know we don't have to make that change. Rather, personal change, a change in thinking, when you shift and you change yourself, it affects the collective as a whole, okay? And so you don't have to go do one person at a time. When you're changing yourself, you're creating a massive ripple effect in the human consciousness, in this field. Everything is connected. Everything is one. Everything is whole. Everything is entangled. Okay, so when you change yourself, you're literally changing the world. Everything that you do, every thought that you think, every action that you take affects this field on an energetic level. We are a collective consciousness. Everything is entangled. You take it back to the Big Bang, to Singularity. Everything was just this little tiny speck, and it started to expand, but we are all pieces of that whole, okay, if that makes sense. Everything is entangled energetically. This is holographic. Matter that you see is 99.999% empty space. That's why my phone can break down the light and the information, and send it light at the speed of light, super duper fast, energetically through the phone. And you can see me right there. It's because we're made of light and information, guys. Okay? Does that make sense? I mean, how else could you explain that you can see me on this phone anywhere in the world? It's because we are made of light and information ourselves. Okay? So, we know that a shift reflected holographically in the field, like we can make massive change, like Gandhi, JFK, or Nelson Mandela, Mother Teresa. They, the world embraced their way of thinking and mirrored it back. And they were able to create massive change in a short amount of time. All right, the baby's waking up and this is almost done. So it's like a prayer, right? When you pray, it benefits your loved one or whoever you're praying for. They could be in the same room or half a world away, but they feel it. They feel your energy because everything is connected energetically. This is quantum entanglement, guys. And the twin photon experiment done in July 25th, 1997 proves. That's why we are all called light workers on Speaking the Truth. Yes, light workers, right? Some of us are here and awakening first to bring this truth to the world. We're all made of light, energy, frequency, vibration, information. It's just this universe, this world is not what we have been taught at all. It's time to wake up the world, take our power back, and become the powerful creators that we are. Everything is singularity, pure creative energy at its source, expanding out, and it's just creating. And it's not good or bad. It just is. Everything just is. It's all experience, guys. We have this idea, that things are good and bad and this and that. We give it meaning. And so it is. What we believe to be true and we give our power to, we create and it becomes our reality. All right. So the evidence suggests that, yes, everything is quantumly entangled. We are one. Right? And it's actually a universal principle. The first universal law is the law of divine oneness. It says that everything is connected energetically. We are one. Okay? That's why everything that we do affects the whole. And as we awaken one by one and change ourselves, we're creating massive change in the world. And it's rippling out into the collective consciousness. It's amazing, guys. And so all change begins within each and every one of us individually first, and then on a collective level we will see the world begin to change. So let us stop looking outside of ourselves for change and let us start looking within, because we have no control over anything outside of ourselves. But once you begin to change yourself within and change your thoughts and your beliefs, that's when you will begin to see real change manifest in your life and in the world. Okay, guys? We're powerful, powerful creators. And what we give our energy to, we create. Okay? So let's take our attention off of the war on drugs, the war on poverty, what's going on, what's wrong, if you're focused on what's wrong, you create more of what's wrong. You're focused on what you don't want, you create what you don't want. Okay? The secret to change is not focusing your energy on fighting the old, but on creating the new. So decide what you want and focus on that. Good morning, Jesse. Yeah, it still is morning. And so we're going to go out and enjoy the day. You can see I got my bathing suit top on here. I'm ready to go outside and get sunshine. So that's quantum entanglement, guys. The twin photon experiment proves it, that you can take anything and split it, any photon, any light, information, atoms, split them, one on this end, mess around with it, it's going to have the same exact reaction instantaneously. It's because quantum entanglement. Everything is connected. Everything is a whole. Everything is one. We are one. We all came from the single point, singularity. Okay? So is that why people leave you? Because the energy is too powerful for them? That has been my experience. Yes, people come and go from our lives. Sometimes it's just,
Mommy.
What they believe and what you believe doesn't.
Mommy.
Yes.
Baby woke up.
The baby woke up. I know. I'm going to go get the baby. So, people don't align with who you are, who they are, and you have to learn just to release things like that, because on an energetic level, it can hold you back. Okay? It will hold you back. It will hold you down right? You have to surround yourself with people on the same mission as you, people with the same beliefs, people who are, like I said, the same mission, okay? Because energy begets energy, right? We feed off of one another, and energy transfers because it's entangled. And so if you're around negativity, the negative will, it can rub off on you. Of course, you want your vibe to always trump, anything. You want your vibe to create. When you walk into a room, your vibe trumps everything, right? You're that powerful that you can do that, right? But sometimes you got to release the negative energy because you don't want that around you. So, yeah. I hope this makes sense. I hope it helps. That is quantum entanglement. It's called the twin photon experiment. Check it out, guys. Holy shift. We do not have to change the world 1% at a time. Well, we just ourselves. Change yourself, you change the world. Literally. I love you guys. Truth, love, and light. Have a beautiful Sunday. Have a namaste. Power within. Bye, guys. You're welcome. Love you, Julie.